Was watching. I got a call that I had to take. I got too much stuff going on in my life to ignore the calls. Now, the next calls will come through on my computer, but they shouldn't kill my stream here. So we'll see. So sorry about that. It was a good stream too. I had that test state amoeba working. Now I did get the. I did get some good time lapse of it, so I'll be able to post that later. And this, of course, is a paramecium. And I got to say, this iPhone does a good job of capturing these guys. So sorry about that. Got kicked off, and there's no guarantee that I won't get kicked off again. I'm gonna have to find another way. Hey, Wendy, when I have Do Not Disturb on, I have to keep, uh, you know, contacts in here. So like my dad or my sister, who they both having medical issues, I got to let those calls come in. I wish YouTube. It just seems like when a call comes in, it just kills everything. The stream stays live where you could chat, but it won't let me chat, and the picture goes off. So it's strange because the stream looks like it's still on, but it goes off, and I can't answer you to tell you what's going on. So it's really bizarre. So of course this is a paramecium just sitting around, doing what he does. He's just filtering some food, some bacteria and stuff. There comes another one. Um, you got two other little creatures there. I'm not sure what those are, but it looks like they're going through binary fission. That looks like one creature that is dividing right there. There goes a big old rotifer. And I wish for some reason, this won't let me, like I can talk, but I can't chat. I can't type anything. So it's really strange. And this is one of the YouTube filters. Yeah, Tracy, I'm back. I had when I stream, I have to keep my phone. I keep it on Do Not Disturb, but I have to have it to where my contacts can get through. My wife's parents are elderly and sick. My dad's elderly and sick. My sister has medical problems. So when a call like that comes in, I have to at least look at it and try to look at the voicemail. The problem is on YouTube, when a call comes in, it just destroys the stream for some reason. There's my 8mm, and back to normal. So, and you notice I have what, 2,000, 2,500 subscribers on YouTube. But whenever I do a YouTube video, it's slow to catch on. If I do Reddit, within 10 minutes, I can have 4,000 viewers. So it's strange. Now, YouTube is a bigger platform, so, it might take some time to get out, and then people are busy and stuff, so they don't come right over. But it's slow going on YouTube. All I can do is keep going. Yeah, those filters are cool. I like those. Like just the simple ones. This one's called Slate. Okay. Yeah, this one's called Slate, and it just looks good. It gives you some different perspective on the detail. And that amoeba we had earlier, I actually got him time lapse. So I'm gonna play that. I'll post that in YouTube and maybe even in Reddit. I'm gonna zoom out here and let's see what we got in a bigger picture here. Then when you zoom out, YouTube seems to try to refocus all the time. See how it does that? So sorry about that. And this stuff right here, I'm trying to figure out what that jelly stuff is. See that? I don't know. I asked a couple of people on other sites what that is. And I don't know what that is. It looks like some kind of fungus. I don't know, maybe some slime mold or something. Oh yeah, this slide has a lot of life in it. And these paramecium and this stuff right here, I'm actually been keeping these alive for weeks. These are months. This culture's months old. And, you just take care of it. You add distilled water when it gets low. Not much else you can do. You can put some hay in it to try to grow some bacteria so these things can eat. Now you can see they're hanging around this jelly stuff. Like I said, I posted on other sites asking a question, what is this stuff here? And I never got an answer yet. So, but it's kind of like, looks like a jellyfish. Yeah, it's kind of like but it's definitely not. No, the donut guy, they just split up while I was talking to my sister. I saw them, they just kind of split up and went their separate ways. So I never did see any pseudopods out of the donut. So, that one was doing something. He was trying to get something out of that. He probably succeeded, I guess. I'll put the time lapse on my Microscope site that I'm a member of and see if anybody can figure that one out. Yeah, they seem to like this goop here, so. I'm just not sure. Whoop, you can see how much water I got on, I just jiggled it. So, and when I say a lot of water, it's still just one drop, but when you don't have a cover slide on it, it'll wiggle like that. Let me go check my other camera here. There you go. So, and I got some moss I got off a brick that's been laying in the shade, and I got it soaking. So I'm gonna try to get some tardigrades off of it, but don't hold your breath. I just haven't had luck with tardigrades. And there's a couple of other amoebas. Let me zoom in a little bit and see what we got here. Yeah, you can see, if you look, you could see his pseudopod coming out. So this one's on the move also. And this is digital zoom here, so, it gets you closer, but it gets a little pixelated. But yeah, right there at the 1 o'clock position, you can see him walking. And when you time lapse this, it gets really cool because you can actually see the pseudopods moving like you're used to seeing them on TV and stuff, where they wiggle around and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, you can barely, when the pseudopods are out in the open, they're the most vulnerable to other things that'll come over and munch on them, particularly coleops, Coleps. They'll come over here and try to eat this guy. But they really can't get to him if, oh, look at this. Looks like look like a face. What is that, the moon? Boy, look at that thing. Yeah, this one looks like a amoeba that got a hold of something. Can't be sure, but he might have ate something there. Or he could be dead and he's just deteriorating. Yeah, it does look like a skull. Good morning. There you go. Yeah, I got a couple other people coming on, so. So this is an amoeba, or at least a testate amoeba shell, and he's just got a weird eyeball look to him. I don't see any pseudopods coming out, so I don't know if he might be dead or dying, and that's his cytoplasm kind of shrinking in on him. Because if you compare him to this one, you can kind of make the distinction that, okay, those right, yeah, it does look like a shirt button. These right here he might be dead maybe, and his cytoplasm might be, going away. And you can see I got more than a couple on here. So in this sample with my paramecium that I've been growing, I got some healthy amoebas. And these amoebas are really, really plentiful in that puddle that I go to. And you can see this one, he's moving. So his pseudopods are underneath his shell, and he's really trying to move around. And he just stopped as soon as I said that. Yeah, they're single cells. They're single, amoebas are single cells. Yeah, this one's always going to have a lot because it's coming from a a sample that I've been taking care of for weeks. So if you're taking care of, yeah, I'm back. If you're taking care of the sample, whatever you have in there, like if I have 10 of these to start out with, they're gonna, if the sample's healthy, they're gonna multiply. So, whenever I use this sample, we should see a lot of these. And they doing pretty much what they do. They don't move too much unless they have to. If they stick out those pseudopods, oh yeah, they reproduce. That's for sure. If they stick out those pseudopods, they can get eaten up by those little, not these things. There's some smaller ones on here called collapse, and they're like piranha fish. Oh, look here, right here. Somebody asked a while back about a diatom. That little thing moving right there, that's actually a diatom. It's not an algae, it's not an animal, it's not a plant. It does produce oxygen, and it has silica shell on it. So that shell you see around it is pretty much glass. And you can see it moves. It moves faster than the other stuff. so so that's a diatom right there at about 1,000 times magnification. Maybe not quite that much, maybe about 800. So these things are what, the whales eat. They're part of the krill, I guess you would say. They're just part of ecosystem. They make a lot of oxygen, and they just float around the oceans like this, making oxygen. And then when whales and stuff filter the stuff through, filter feeders, they get billions of tons of these things, and that's what they eat. And all this other stuff is part of the krill also, in salt water. Of course, this is fresh water, but look at that guy coming to check him out. But this is a diatom. So some diatoms are bigger and you can see more detail. Yeah, he's fragile. He's like glass. And let's see if I can find. I'm still trying to figure out what these guys are right here. These have, somebody told me what name of this was a couple of days ago, but I forgot. It's some strange name. Starts with the letter E. So I'll figure it out. I'll try to find my notes. This is more that goopy stuff that I'm not sure what this is. It may have something to do with the drop of milk I put in here. Every once in a while I'll put a drop of milk to get some bacteria in here. And the bacteria will grow and the microorganisms will eat this. This may be something related to that. And this one looks like you got it. Yeah, it does look like a fungus or a mold, some kind of mold. Yeah, that's right. That's what I said earlier on the other stream. It does look like some kind of mold. This one right here, I'm not sure what he's doing. It looks like he's, yeah, John, send me I'll check back on this. I think I have a microscope listed in a Reddit post. It's under $200 that I would recommend. I'll post the link when we're done here. I'll try to put it I'll try to find your comment and send it right to you, or you could send me a personal message through YouTube or Reddit, and I'll get that out to you. This is one of those donut ones. And if you look, I don't know if those little tiny creatures inside of there can get out or not, or if they're stuck in there. But they surely, something in there or under it. I mean, this is extremely digital zoomed in, so you can see he's not moving around much. It's kind of hanging out. When I go right here, this is actually 150. So you're looking at 150 times right here. And so you know how small these things are. So on the iPhone, I can use digital zoom and kind of zoom in on them to get a better look. It is digital, so it gets a little grainy, but you know, you get the idea. That line going right through him, that curved line, that's where his mouth parts would be, or his oral groove. So you can see how when he turns, you can see that turning. And there's that little fungus again. You can see these amoebas seem to like that little fungus. There's some more. And I would really, so they like it. If they wouldn't, I don't think they would be on it if they didn't like it. And it's definitely not an animal type thing that's hurting these things, because I've seen all kind of critters bump up against this stuff and it just doesn't affect them at all. I mean, they almost look like related to jellyfish or sea anemones, but they're definitely some kind of fungus or mold. Yeah, bleach is one of the things that'll pretty much kill this instantly. If I put, this is 1 drop of water, so put it this way, when you're looking to purify, you know, a gallon of water, a gallon, okay, look that up. John, if you could look that up if you're on a computer, how much bleach does it take to purify a gallon of water? It's probably a couple of drops. And a couple of drops of bleach in a gallon of water kills microscopic life. So you know what 1 drop, equal drop, 50-50 would do to this. Let me look. I'll try to look at it real quick. Let's see. Okay, so 1 gallon of water, if you have 1 gallon of water, okay, let's say if I needed to drink this and it was 1 gallon, okay, and I didn't know what was in it, 6 drops, 6 drops of bleach would kill this stuff. Now, it wouldn't make it clean. This stuff would still be floating around it, okay? It would still be floating around. I'd be getting a mouthful of gunk, but 6 drops in a gallon would take care of all these things. So you know, if I put 1 drop on here with 1 drop of water, these things are gonna really be dead and fast. I never did do it. What keeps the cells of Eudorina? What is that? I didn't see the whole thing there. But basically, I know I don't usually experiment with killing these things with bleach because I know what bleach does. You know, so there's no science I would get out of it except to watch them die. Now, I do things because I didn't know, I have bottled water around my house, and I always wonder what would happen if I put this water in or this water instead of buying distilled water. Well, I put in some, I put in some fluoridated, fluorinated bottled water that we buy. And I got to tell you, it didn't kill them right away, but it did after a few days. It pretty much it ended them. I mean, I still had some stuff, but these other things would just really put out of their way. They were dying. So that little bit of fluoridation killed them. And that was an experiment because I couldn't find anything on fluorination, fluoride, bottled water, and paramecium. So I just added some to see, and sure enough, it pretty much put an end to them. But that was part of my science. A drop of bleach, plop it on here, and they die. Okay, we know that already. So. You even got to be careful. So if you know how strong bleach is, bleach, the chlorine. I'm not a chemist, but chlorine, Cl, the chlorine. I think that just combines with something in life or carbon-based creatures that just destroys them. I mean, you can look it up. How did I get so? Well, I'm not. I'm decent. I'm good at identifying the things that I always see. So, like these amoebas, I always see them, so I study up on them. Now, for instance, this guy right here, I don't want to take a stab at what he is. He has some kind of funky name, and I forgot what it was. So, even though I have tons of them on here, I'm not comfortable enough to just say this is this, because I have no idea. Well, I have some idea, but, it's not, it wouldn't be right to say it, and then you go look it up yourself, and you say, well, this guy said this is this. I wonder who's wrong. So, if I don't know, I don't know. I'll tell you. So just so you know, yeah, I looked at my blood before. It's real hard to see unless you smear it right. So if you bleed, all you need is a little bit, and you spread it around on the slide correctly, and you go to really high power. You could see it, but it tends to not be like you think it is. You think it's going to be dark red cells, where they're kind of light. They're light and they're a little hard to see with a regular microscope under this kind of power. You have to really go up to 600, and then you can start to see some cells. So, yeah, I've done it before. But it's not so much as just bleeding on a slide and looking at it. You really have to kind of spread it around right on the slide to where it's a thin layer, and then get the focus right and the contrast right. And you can see it. You can see the cells. But yeah, so bleach, I'm looking at this thing right here. For drinking water, if you want to purify water, like if you go to a stream, okay, and you got to realize, if you bring a flask of bleach with you and you're going camping, you always have drinking water if you can find a stream. Ponds also, but if you had a choice to drink out of a stream or a pond, go for the stream. So, but 5 gallons of stream water, let's say you get 5 gallons of water from a stream. If you put a quarter of a teaspoon of bleach, you purify it, which means it kills any creature that's going to hurt you, mainly bacteria. It'll kill these things too. With that said, and you drink it, it's probably not going to taste good. It just kills the stuff so it can't grow inside of you. But you're still getting a mouthful of stream water. Now ponds are more stagnant, so just remember that. You know, all things being equal, in the river that you're near doesn't have disgusting, you know, E. coli in it or whatever. If you got to drink something in an emergency, go for the stream go for the stream instead of the pond water. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Let me look that up. I don't think most of the time Euglena have. Could be wrong, but I think they have flagellum and not cilia. But I could be wrong. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen those. Yeah, I've actually seen it here when a paramecium gets in trouble and it'll just start disintegrating. Yep. Viruses versus bacteria. Real small. Probably even the biggest viruses.
Can I have a brownie?
Okay, hang on a minute. My granddaughter, she ate breakfast and wants a brownie now. But a bacteria can be, I think, 50 to 100. Hey, Anita, 50 to 100 times smaller. I mean, a virus can be 50 to 100 times smaller than a bacteria. If you've seen my stream before, you notice that I saw bacteria on here, and you know how small it is, okay? So imagine something 50 to 100 times smaller than that. I mean, a light microscope isn't going to do it. Hey, I'm going to go help my granddaughter here. She ate breakfast a little while ago, and she gets a brownie now and some milk. So stay here with this guy right here. That's a rotifer. He's a multi-celled animal. That's a real animal right there. I'm going to go on low power, so when I'm going, you can kind of see more than just one or two things. I'll be right back. Okay, this is your morning. Sorry about that. I had to get me some water too. So yeah, and I don't think this sample's a little cleaner than probably I would really want. So I don't see any big masses of bacteria floating around. Yeah, it does look like a busy slide. Yeah, when you zoom out here, you could see there's a lot of stuff. So, and you can know how small these things are. This is 150x. So if this is 150 times the size of these things, you know how small they really are. This is, oh, I'm sorry, this isn't 150. No wonder they're small. This is 60. This is 60, and I forgot that I went back. This is 150. So still small. So this is 150 times bigger than these things are. So in reality, and this, let's say go in double here. So let's say this is 400x right here. So that means in reality, you could put 400 of these little guys across what you see right here. So that's how small these things really are. So if this is 400x right here, in real life, you would take the real size of these, you could put 400 from left to right on there. Whew, that's small. And I'm sorry about that noise next door. They're having their termite protection done. Oh, thank God it just went off. Phew. No, John, remember we was just talking about that chlorine? your your tap water has chlorine in it. So, I mean, unless the chlorine's not flowing right, or if it takes so much chlorine to purify to kill so many things. So let's say if you get too many of these things in your water and the chlorine's not enough, then you're in trouble. But now tap water, if everything's working fine, the tap water kills them for one thing, but then your tap water is filtered so many different ways that it even filters out the dead bodies. So here, if I put chlorine in it and drank it, I would still get these in my mouth. They'd just be dead. And your tap water, you pretty much clean. So I'll plug in my phone real quick. I'm drinking some water. What is this guy carrying around something? He's carrying around a backpack of slime. He's bringing his own food. This drop of water, I believe, this is probably a mix of some pond water. It just got cross contaminated. So it's probably pond water and puddle water here. But I've had this sample for a few weeks, and I've just been taking care of it and adding distilled water to it and putting some milk in it to get some bacteria going. So this one I actually had for some time. And when I can't find anything, like I'm having trouble finding any worms and stuff like that are interesting to look at. If I want to stream, I always have something to go to. So that's what this is. Oh, it's milk to distill water. And you got to remember, you're just talking about trying to introduce some bacteria in it. So let me see. I probably have, just say a quarter of a cup. A quarter of a cup, you just put a drop of milk. And that's got enough bacteria in it to start dividing and multiplying. Milk is thick and it has a lot of sugar in it and stuff like that, of course. So if you put, if I put a drop of milk on this slide, it's not going to kill these guys right away, but they're going to have a hard time because it's just not what they're used to living in. So you don't want to make it to where they're living in it. You just want to put a drop to introduce some bacteria. Usually whole milk will do it. And you can also do some longer term stuff like hay. Yeah, Tracy, I was just going to say that. So do you only use milk to introduce bacteria? You can use like wheat seeds. You can buy from, I mean, you could get them from a health food store, but they're really whole wheat seeds. And I usually buy them. They're about $2 for you know, 1,000 of them, and they don't germinate, meaning they won't grow. They do something to them that they won't grow. So you can put a couple of, if you have a quarter of a cup, you can put 3 or 4 wheat seeds in there, and bacteria will start eating on the wheat seeds, and the bacteria will grow there, and you won't get a wheat plant growing out of it. And you can also use hay. What is it called? Just you can go to the pet store and get that. I mean, it's about $1 for a bale. You know, most people put it down for their guinea pigs and rabbits. So you put some hay in there, and bacteria, as that's deteriorating, bacteria grow and start eating that. So you could do, there's a bunch of different things. And some people are so precise, they do different bacteria for different cultures they have. I'm not that, you know, I'm not that sophisticated. I'll throw some hay in it and a wheat seed and a drop of milk, and I'll cover all the bases. So you can see they kind of congregating around this fungus here. No, John, I don't do that. I don't even check. It's funny you should say that. I don't check that, you know, unless you're eating something raw. I mean, I guess, you know, it would be a good experiment. I guess I could go buy some sushi and bring it home and look at it and really scare you. You know, might have something in there, you might not. But my food's usually cooked good, so you're not going to have anything moving around. But what's funny is I have a cat. I have a couple of cats, and I have a fountain in here that recycles the water, you know, and I clean it every day. But every once in a while, I'll see some algae in it. And you know, if you see algae in it, you know that they got other stuff in it too. I don't even want to look at that because I don't want to see what my cats are drinking if I don't change that water every half hour. So I don't even do that. But yeah, sushi. I might take a chance. I never bought sushi in my life, but maybe I'll gamble a few bucks and go buy some and put it under the microscope. My guess is that I'm not going to see any noticeable microorganisms in the sushi. I could though. It's not going to be these type things. It's going to be, you know, from what I heard about sushi, it could be worms, you know, little worms. And it's not cooked. So, you know, it's not cooked. So anything's possible. If it's not cooked, yeah, where somebody saw 2 of them stuck together, I didn't see them. So if they are stuck together, they could either be, yeah, the sushi. Yeah, yeah. I don't eat it, so I wouldn't have any problem with putting it on here. Oh, here's a new guy. This is a Aleosoma. This is actually a real worm here. Yeah, I mean, we did evolve from eating raw stuff and all, but I got to tell you, if you know, we're modern humans, if you get a parasite in your sushi and there's enough of it, and your stomach acid doesn't see it, doesn't take care of it, you can be in trouble. I mean, people have been sick. I don't know if it'll kill you, but oh, look at this guy. He's in that fungus eating it. Yeah, mites. Yeah, oh yeah, mites. You could see if your sample has mites in it. Yeah, you could see them easy. Yeah, mites. Yeah, that's a big classification, but usually, because boy, look at this guy. Look great, huh? Let me record him on my. Yeah, I mean, look, you're eating bacteria and microorganisms every day. I mean, if you if you put your finger in your mouth, your eye, your nose, I mean, come on, especially if you're outside, you're cutting grass, you're emptying the grass. I mean, you're getting them in you. The trick is these things are going to die when they get in you. They're not parasites, so they're not cut out to live in you. Like a hookworm. Okay, hookworms kill a lot of people in the world. But if you get it on your finger and swallow it, you're not going to get infected because that's not the way they work. Your stomach acid would kill the hookworm. Okay, so they get the larva of a hookworm's got to go in through your skin, get to your blood, and then get to your intestines. They can't survive that stomach acid. So, so sushi's probably the same way, unless there's a parasite in there that can get through your stomach. Then you'll be safe. But I like when I get big things on here because, after looking at the little tiny things and trying to focus them in, really looking at a big creature is so much easier. And he seems to like that fungus. They don't fight each other, but some can eat the other ones. Like this worm, if he'll anything smaller than his mouth, he'll usually eat. Um, you know, uh, but fight each other just to be fighting, no. But certain ones will eat other ones. Yeah, those little things, kitty, those we were looking at those earlier. Those are a type of amoeba called the testate amoeba. And there's actually a little tiny amoeba in there. And sometimes you can even see the pseudopods on them, and you can see them moving. We actually saw that earlier, but that's what they are: TEST, testate. And I think most of these are Aracella. I think Aracella, Arecella. I'm not sure. You have to look that up. Amoebas. I'm not sure what that is. If it's two amoebas conjugating, I don't know. Might be. But that's what those are. So this guy right here, those two right there, that rotifer that's going over to the bottom left, and the worm that's going up, those are multicellular creatures, meaning those are true animals. Those are in the animal kingdom. These right here are single cells. They're in the protist kingdom. To me, they're animals more than plants, but I didn't get to name them. And you can tell this guy likes that slime. At least he likes it for a while. And I can almost see his mouth here. It's underneath him, and it looks like you can see almost how he tries to hook his jaw over it. Not his jaw, but you know what I mean. And he's a segnated worm related to more to earthworms. Yeah, he's like a sock puppet. Yeah, these Alliosoma right here. If you look good, hey Simon. Yeah, I'm okay. I haven't been in a while. I haven't really had anything to stream, so I just decided to come on here. Yeah, the Alliosoma, I've seen them multiply. This one's actually in the process of splitting. Okay, notice right there, it looks like another head is attached to the butt of this one. That is because when these things divide, they do so from the tail down. So this one is actually going through splitting, okay? And you want to hear, if you never heard me say this before, so what he does while this one eats and passes down his poop, this one has no choice but to eat the poop. And then the poop goes through him and out. And then when he gets to be about the size of this one, he'll dislodge. I personally never seen one dislodging before. I don't have the patience. So, but that's how they divide. So eventually this is going to be a carbon copy. The DNA in this one's going to have the exact DNA in that one. Kind of gross, but it gives them some incentive to go off on their own, you know, and go to college or something. So you're not sucking crap out of the other one's butt. Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. I mean, Mother Nature is a mad scientist. Who said that? Cosmo Kramer. Mother Nature's a mad scientist, Jerry. And this proves it right here. I mean, billions of years of evolution, and this is what you get. A worm that splits off from the ass end. And somebody asked about 2D and 3D. These do swim in 3D. As a matter of fact, look at the ones that are not in focus right now. Anything that's not in focus is either below or above what's in focus. So even though this is about a millimeter of water thickness, they still are 3D. So they look flat because you're only seeing them from one angle. But if I zoom in on a paramecium that's being still, you could see them turning, and you can actually see the 3D of them. Let me see if I can grab one on here. So this one right here, sometimes if you look at these long enough, they'll actually rotate along their axis. Look, he just did it. See, he just spun around. So he just actually spun around on his axis, like on his tube axis. So and this Alliosoma, I'm gonna try to keep up with him. If you could see those red dots, scientists don't know what those red dots are for. I'm sure they know what they're made of, you know, chemically, but they're not sure what purpose they have. And if you look in here, this is classic of a annelid. I mean, not an annelid. Yeah, an annelid. Like these are like related to the earthworm, and they call it a tube inside of a tube. So you could see his intestines in there. He's got his outside tube, which you'd consider his skin, and then on the inside of him, there's a tube, which is, you know, his intestines and his internal organs and stuff. So these are like earthworms, a tube inside of a tube. Then you got like flatworms that are different. They're not a tube inside of a tube. They're just, everything's just floating around inside of them. And because of that, flatworms, notice how this guy, he's eventually going to poop. You can see that tube inside of there, and those peristalsis, those motions that are going through. You see them. That's actually part of their digestive system, pushing the food through. Flatworms don't have that. So flatworms eat. They'll eat their food and digest it, and then they puke it up. I've seen that a couple of times. So that's the difference between flatworms and these guys. And you can see he's still holding on. That's a good picture of him holding on. Personally, I don't know why they don't just bud off as soon as they get to where they look like this. I don't know why. It doesn't look like they need a grow anymore. Yeah, how P would look under the mic. Well, I mean, it looks like different things. If you're healthy, there's nothing in it. Maybe some dead blood cells, things like that. But when you do a urinalysis, yeah, they're looking for stuff, specifically blood. You know, if you got white blood cells in your urine, red blood cells in your urine, bacteria in your urine, all that tells a story. So a healthy person is just going to look clear. And surely I'm not going to know what I'm looking at. I mean, I guess I would know if I saw something that wasn't supposed to be there, you know, but yeah, urine is actually, if you're healthy, urine is sterile, supposedly sterile. Your bladder's sterile, no bacteria. Now, if you get an infection and stuff like that, it's not. Okay, and I believe with this stream right here, I have 17 people, and I've had about 17 for a little while. This video should take me over 1,000 hours of viewing time for the last 365 days. So that means we'd be 1/4 of the way to 4,000 hours. So that's a big milestone. And believe it or not, that's hard to come by. So, you know, I need you to subscribe and keep looking at those videos once in a while. I'm going to really start growing this channel when my granddaughter goes back to school in August. It's just really hard to concentrate and come in here and make videos and stuff. You know, you're trying to take care of her, keep her entertained and stuff. So it's not fair to her. But so as far as growing it to where I'm going to reach that 4,000, I don't expect that happen till maybe if I do really good after September around Christmas time or so. So I'm gonna stream for a few more minutes on here and then go get me something to eat. I'm gonna put my polarizer on here real quick and see what we could see through polarized light. So there you go. So if you look at it, you could see the worm doesn't do almost anything in polarized light, whereas the other stuff does. You could see in the worm, he might have a couple of things inside of him that he ate, maybe a rock or something, a mineral, but he surely don't have much starch or stuff in there. You could look at that one little bright spot right there. That's something that he ingested that's moving through him. And if you watch this long enough, you'll see that come out the butt end of him. So. And you can see the other things, they're like little spaceships. Yeah, Volvox, I've seen those. I don't have any in here. I don't have any in here. So no, you know, I don't have any in here. Just, you'll know them if you see them. They kind of roll around like a ball. They're really cool. So you can see some things do better in polarized light than other things. Yeah, Volvoxes are actually, you know, 10, 20, 30 pieces of algae that have flagella, and they, I'm sure there is a user with Volvox as their name, but Volvox is like separate algae with flagella who stick together in a ball and move as one. So that's pretty cool. I have them on here from time to time. So I usually like do half polarized and half not. You usually get a better, like about right there. You know, just enough polarization to see things. I think that paramecium right there must have just budded off from another one. See how he's about half the size? Okay, I'm gonna jump off of this. Okay, I've been on for about an hour, so I usually like to keep these about an hour. So go ahead and look at some other videos of mine if you can. You know, let a couple play while you're eating lunch or something, and watch them with your lunch. So, yeah, there's all kind of creatures. Yeah, that's right. And you can see there's some creatures that have. One comes to mind. Let me see. Vorticella or Vorticella, some people say Vorticella. They look like little flowers, and they're on long pieces of string, it looks like. And you can have 50 of them side by side, and they're totally not touching. They're not touching, but when one contracts, they all contract. It's kind of strange. Okay, I'm gonna go about another minute, and maybe I'll just keep quiet and follow this guy around for a minute. And then, you know, maybe get on Reddit earlier. Believe it or not, on Reddit, I get more YouTube subscribers and views if I stream on Reddit and tell people to go to YouTube. So, you know, coming to YouTube's usually, which is strange, because by streaming on YouTube, I do get the hours of viewing time, and this is going to be multiple hours, maybe 50 hours of viewing time when it comes down to it. So that'll put me over the 1,000 mark. But on Reddit, if I was streaming for an hour on Reddit, I probably would have got 150 more subscribers. So you got to kind of balance that out. So both of them are good. And I'm going to be quiet for 5 minutes. So if you have any question, I'll try to answer it later. Thanks for coming by.